Thank you, João. And thank you all for being here. And I'm going to talk to you about the Urban Sense platform, which is the main issue that I've been working the last 2 years since I've been hired to the Future Cities project. And I will, inside this, how can I switch? It's here? Ah, okay. I'm going to talk to you about the Urban Sense platform. No. Thank you. No. Okay. So the Urban Sense platform is a large-scale infrastructure for local monitoring about the environment and also about the behavior of the citizens in the city. That is part of the Living Lab, the Porto Living Lab that João mentioned you about in the initial session. We installed several data collecting units throughout the city and are collecting the data in the cloud databases and providing some services in the cloud. No. Okay, sorry. So this is, sorry. No. Here. Okay. So the main goal of the Urban Sense is to understand and get aware of the environment and also the behavior of phenomena that is around the city. We want to have impact in the city, to understand the impact of interventions in the city, to evaluate, to detect events, or identify critical areas in the urban areas, but also impact in the companies. They can use our platform to test products or validate business models that they want to test. Also, to the researchers, we want to have applications, and it's possible to researchers of various fields to use the Urban Sense platform in the fields of open data, networks, but also in the area of environment or climate or health. Several applications, practical applications, can use the Urban Sense, such as create early warning systems for pollution, or manage the waste collection in a city, or smart gardens, to manage smart gardens, or parking, but also to surveillance, and even real estate. They want to check which are the areas in the city that are more clean or with better environment to live. There are several research opportunities, and I'm a researcher, so I'm going to give some focus on this. In the area of the information and communication technologies, in the area of in the subfield of Internet of Things, there's opportunistic communications. We are working on this, and Susanna will talk about it later. But also with the long-range and low-power communications, we are looking to these technologies that are emerging now, and also to the machine-to-machine communications. In the area of data processing, there are also some work going on and about the data visualization that Daniel will talk to you about. Count people based on video, so analyzing the video, this data to count people, and also to research about platforms about open data and how to provide data to the interested institutions. But also in automation, how to calibrate these sensors that we are installing in the city that are low-cost sensors, and also how to improve the resources that are spent by these devices. We are also working on this, and there's research going on about these subjects. Besides the information and communication technologies, we are also working on multidisciplinary projects regarding health, urban planning, and design and social issues. About the health, we are working with LEPAP about the asthma, the impact on asthma of the air pollution. And also with the SHERC, we are working about monitoring the impact of cold waves and hot waves and in the mobility of the population, especially the elder people. About urban planning, we have some work being thought and some projects that are in preparation about how to reduce the pollution, or the pollution, I mean, in air pollution, air quality, and also on noise pollution, how to change the city to improve or to reduce this pollution, but also in the area of the coating of the buildings and the streets and the pavements, how to improve these coatings using the data that is collected by the Urban Sense platform. In the area of design and social, we are planning to use this data that we collect on the Urban Sense to create spots where people meet to get the data or to discuss the data. But also, we are discussing how to install these devices in a city like Porto that is human world heritage, without a big impact in the environment, the built environment. We also participated in some artistic projects that used our data to create light artistic installations, like the one that is in that picture in Locomotiva. So how this works, what is exactly more in detail and technically what is Urban Sense. So this, the architecture has mainly three levels. The cloud that receives the data, the transport layer that uses basically Wi-Fi, either fixed with hotspots provided by Porto Digital, or by the buses that also have Wi-Fi hotspots, moving hotspots that we use to collect and transport our data. And finally, the top layer, we have the data units, the data collecting units that are spread to the city, throughout the city, and collecting data. These units that are spread in the city, this is an example that is installed near the sea in front of Castelo do Queijo. We have several components. We have the sensors that are in contact with the environment, collecting data about air quality, luminosity, temperature, humidity. We have inside the box, we have a processing unit that is able to process and store some data temporarily. And then we have communications interfaces that are inside that box. We also have external sensors that are more visible and easy to see, such as the meteorological station, the sonometer that is measuring the noise in the city, but also a device that was developed inside the project to count people using image. These are the number of devices and sensors installed. We have nearly 500 sensors divided in about 75 units. Each unit has up to 9 sensors. And we installed one part of these devices, and the other are available to these new projects that we are proposing and deciding which are the most important, because there are so many solicitations on where to put this number of sensors that are not yet installed. We are deciding this. So in terms of the architecture, that is the software architecture, we have some software that is running on our data collecting units that communicates through the internet or through the delay tolerant network that is operating over the vehicular network that we have running on the buses of the city. And then we have a number of software components that are running in the cloud to collect this data, validate this data, process, and turn it available to the researchers and companies and other institutions such as the Câmara Municipal that want to get and use this data. So what is this about the opportunistic communications, or that I was talking about? We also call it data mules, because it's like a mule, but instead of carrying water or other goods, they carry data. So our mules are the buses that get the data when they pass nearby a sensor, a set of sensors, a sensing unit, and then they deliver this data to the cloud when they are nearby a roadside unit. Susanna will talk about this in detail later, and the results about this research that we are being doing with master students that are being working on this. Working. We also have a demonstration about this technology, the opportunistic communications. We presented the demo in several conferences, including the Mobicom last week or last month. This month, and later on you can see this scooter acting like a bus, making the turns of a bus to see how this opportunistic communications work. We also are working on this calibration methodology, which is very important because there are several initiatives to use low-cost sensors, such as the ones that we have in Porto, but the problem is that these low-cost sensors has low-quality data. So we need to use intelligent calibration methodologies to get high-quality data. Well, not high quality, but enough quality data. So we are working a lot on this calibration methodology. We have also master students working on this and experienced researchers, and we are getting good results. We also integrate on Urban Sense after the Urban Sense was developed and on a later stage. We decided to integrate these garbage filling level sensors in the Urban Sense, and this was completed this summer with success. We are very happy about this. I'm going out of time, so I will skip this just to show you. This slide was going to show you the consumption of our data collecting unit. Well, it's good enough. And I'm missing here a slide, sorry. there's a map that is not here about where our units were installed. I don't know what happened, but there's missing a slide. And you can see the map in the poster that is in that stand. We have 25 units installed around the city. They cover all the city, and we try to cover different zone types in the city, namely the traffic zones, which are most of them. Most of the sensors are deployed on those areas, but also touristic zones such as Rua das Flores or residential areas, parks, near universities, and also near the water that we have plenty here in Porto. I'm sorry for not having here a map. So this is just a demo about the data that we are getting. Here we have some noise measurements. We can in August. And we can see that some sensors are exposed to more noise than others, and we can also see the differences between day and night in this graphic. We are still working on getting valuable results or conclusions about this data. On the temperature, we also can see the days that were more cold and hot. This is just, we are still working on this part of the processing the data and getting results about this. We don't have yet the results. We are working on this. This is wind. We can also see that, for instance, near the sea, we have more wind speed. It's obvious. So we have still a lot to do. We can see light turning. We can see ahead and see that there's a lot to do. We have done plenty, but we still have work. So we are working on deploying more sensors, calibrate our data, create tools to operate and monitor the infrastructure, improve the delay-tolerant communications and the energy savings and resource savings in the units. On working, and the rest is process, share, and visualize the data that we are getting. So we have still a lot to do. Thank you very much.